Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing unboxing video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and we have a very special treat for you today. We finally have a copy of the Skystrike Academy Squadron pack from FFG. Now I know all of you players in the UK have been waiting desperately for this to arrive, and it is finally on our shores. And I picked this up this morning and I've been very much looking forward to cracking this pack open, seeing what we got inside and showing it to you all. So let's crack on and get this pack opened. So let's have a quick look at the ships we get in the pack. So as we are all aware, we get 2 new interceptors with their lovely Skystrike Academy paint schemes on them. So that really nice red stripe. Because they get quite a bright laser cannons underneath there. And that red stripe, red markings just around the engine there. I mean, we all love the Intercept. I mean, this is one of my favourite ships in the game. And it's really nice to get some new colour schemes. I especially love that black stripe running down the middle there. So we have 2 new Interceptors and the big daddy of them all. We have the TIE Defender, specifically the colour scheme from Rebels. So this is the TIE Defender prototype colour scheme. That yellow, just wow, really stands out. And also, I love the fact that the yellow goes all the way around the engine at the back there. But the Defender is a great looking model and it's nice to get a new colour scheme for that. So very excited to get these on the table. So let's have a look at the cards in the pack. So when talking about Skystrike Academy, there's only really one card we ought to be talking about, and that is Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith. So with this you cannot spend force except while attacking. While you perform an attack, you may spend 1 force to change 1 blank result to a hit result. And the classic full throttle, after you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, you may perform an evade action. Classic defender bar there, so focus, evade, target lock, barrel roll, boost, 3 attack, 3 defense, 3 hull, 4 shields, but the Vader variant has 3 force. Very powerful, very dangerous, obviously a lot of points of the game. We'll see if it stays that way in the next points update. Let me know in the comments if you think that 115 points basic is fair, too high or too low. So let me know down below. Moving on, we have Volt Skerris, the Arrogant Ace. Action, gain 1 stress token to recover 1 charge. Before you engage, you may spend 1 charge to perform an attack. After you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, you may perform an evade action. Now, this one has the charge on there, but if you'll notice, it actually has a downwards facing tick mark on there. So this means that he loses that charge rather than gaining a charge every turn. So in the end phase, he loses that charge, so he has to do the action to get that back, taking the strain. So it's a bit of a risk, but it does mean you get that action to spend whenever you want. However, obviously being I5, I'm not 100% sure how often you're going to be able to use that, but it can be quite good if you just want to get that cheeky barrel roll or boost to get a better position. Now in the I3 slot we have Captain Dobbs, the reliable replacement. While another friendly ship at range 0 to 1 defends, before the neutralise results step, if you are in the attack arc and are not ionised, you may gain 1 ion token to cancel 1 hit result. So again, another interesting ability there. So obviously ionising yourself is not always going to be the greatest thing, but it could be that that is the best option. So I'm interested to see how often he gets play. Onyx Squadron Ace, I4. And your Delta Squadron pilots, your I1. They'll become quite a staple if you're trying to run double defenders with Vader, I imagine. Interestingly, if you do have any double defenders with Vader lists, drop them in the comments below. Be really interested to see what you're going to try and fly with him. Might even see if we can feature it on the channel. So looking now at the TIE interceptors, we have Sienna Ree, Look Through My Eyes. After you perform an attack, if the defender was destroyed, gain 1 stress token. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, remove 1 stress token. And the auto thrusters, after you perform an action, you may gain 1 red. You may perform a red barrel roll or red boost action. And again, we know the classic interceptor loadout, so focus, evade, barrel roll, boost, 3 attack, 3 defense, and 3 hull. Now, I feel that she's very fairly costed actually for that ability. Normally you don't want to be gaining a stress token. They're fairly easy to get rid of on an interceptor, but if you're already stressed, being double stressed is not great. However, there are some interesting combos you can do with other pilots, so using Sienna to soften the enemy up and then another pilot to take them out is always a good option, especially with that lovely I6 there. Now we have Volt Skeris in his interceptor format, so the exact same ability on there as we've come to expect from most pilots who cross the divide from one ship to another. Lovely artwork there with the Tantive in the background. Now we have Commandant Goran. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 with a lower initiative than yours partially executes a maneuver, it may perform a red focus action, so allowing your friendly ships to essentially perform composure there. So quite nice there to give you that utility of actually having your action. Very handy if you're flying in a swarm that bumps, so that's going to be quite a nice ability to have there. And being an I4, it's likely you're going to have quite a few ships that will meet that criteria if you are flying in some form of swarm. Gideon Hask, Inferno 2, jumping from the TIE Fighter into the Interceptor, and again the same ability. While you perform an attack against a damaged defender, you roll 1 additional attack die. This in an Interceptor is very good. I'm a big fan of this ability, and the I4, that's a really good initiative to have him at, again meaning he's not going to be costed too high. In fact, at time of recording this, he is the same cost as Sienna Ree, so fairly competitively pointed there, I feel. Now we have another I3, Lieutenant Laura, the Requiem for Brentar. While you barrel roll, you must use the bank template instead of the straight template. So very reminiscent there of the Star Vipers. And anyone that's played Star Vipers knows that having a bendy barrel roll is very interesting. It can get you in some really good angles. So definitely worth having a look at there. It'd be nice if it was a little bit of a higher initiative, but I still think that that's a very worthwhile card to have a look at. Now we have our I2, Nash Windrider, the Alderaanian Zealot. During the engagement phase, after a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if that ship has not engaged this phase, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, that ship engages at the current initiative. So that is really good actually. So if you have a higher initiative, say an initiative 6 taking out one of your initiative 4s, Nash can allow that initiative 4 then to fire straight back as though it was simultaneous fire. So that is a very good card. He's very good in a swarm, so I do like Nash Windrider. And then we have our generic Saber Squadron Aces. You get 2 copies of those. And the Alpha Squadron Pilots, again, 2 copies of those. Now we have the quick build card, so we have the TIE Defender. So that's Darth Vader with an Onyx Squadron Ace. Volt Skeris, Captain Dobbs, and the Delta Squadron Pilot. And in the Interceptor, Skeris with Commandant Goran and the Alpha Squadron pilot. Sienna Ree, Dash Windrider and Alpha Squadron pilot. Gideon Hask, Lieutenant Laura and a Sabre Squadron ace. And for those epic plays, the Skystrike Academy class. Now let's have a look at some of our upgrade cards. So we have the Shadow Wing, Imperial TIE Fighter, or TIE Interceptor, or TIE Bomber. So set up, equip this card face up. You are a wing leader. Your wingmates must be 2 to 5 ships of your type. After you are placed, flip this card. Your wingmates can perform barrel roll or boost actions. If they do, they voluntarily split from the wing. While you defend, up to 2 of your wingmates in the attack arc may each suffer 1 hit or crit damage to cancel 1 matching result. Skystrike Academy class. So equip this side face up. You are a wing leader. Your wingmates must be 2 to 5 TIE fighters with initiative lower than yours. After your place, flip this card. After you barrel roll or boost, each of your wingmates is forced to split from the wing. While you defend, up to 5 of your wingmates in the attack arc may each suffer 1 hit or crit damage to cancel 1 matching result. Now you get 2 copies of the Skystrike Academy class, and as you can see, it is a double unique dot, so you can actually fly 2 Sky Squadron Academy classes in an epic game should you have the points for it. Now, upgrade cards, we have Composure for the talents. After you fail an action, if you have no green tokens, you may perform a focus action. If you do, you cannot perform another action this round. So very similar to the card we were mentioning earlier, however you don't get the stress token. Daredevil. While you perform a white boost action, you may treat it as red to use the 1 hard templates instead. Discipline, the new Imperial only talent. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if that ship is limited or has the Disciplined upgrade, you may perform a target lock or barrel roll action. Now you get 3 copies of that, I believe, in the pack. Oh, surprise! You actually get 4. That's a nice one there. So, TIE Defender only talent, Interloper turn. Before you execute a speed 1 to 2 turn, or speed 1 to 2 K turn maneuver, if you are at range 0 to 1 of an asteroid, structure or huge ship, you may gain 1 tractor token. So that's quite an interesting one. Obviously when you gain that tractor token, you can essentially barrel roll yourself. So it's quite an interesting card there. Be good to see how you can use that. I can imagine you can get some great positioning on there. Obviously removing a defense dice though is always a tricky one to sort of run the risk of. And you get 2 copies of that. We have another copy of the Marg Sable Closure. After you fully execute a maneuver, if you move through an obstacle, structure or huge ship, or if you deployed, you may choose 1 enemy ship in your firing arc at range 1 to 2. That ship gains 1 strain token. I do quite like this card actually, it's pretty cool. And you get 2 copies of those. Extreme Maneuvers. So, unless you are collecting the Republic faction, this will be one of the first chances you get to use this, other than the ETA 2. While you perform a boost action, you may spend 1 force to use the hard turn template instead. So, very much your force variant of Daredevil. Absolutely brutal this. And the advantage of this is you do not actually get a stress token for doing this, you just use a force. So, very powerful, making potentially Darth Vader very, very manoeuvrable there. More so than he already is. Instinctive Aim. While you perform a special attack, you may spend 1 force to ignore the focus or target lock requirement. Sense. During the system phase, you may choose one ship at range 0 to 1 and look at its dial. If you spend one force, you may choose a ship at range 0 to 3 instead. Passive sensors, very good card. Action, spend one charge. You can only perform this action in your perform action step. While your charge is inactive, you cannot be coordinated. Before you engage, if your charge is inactive, you may perform a calculate or target lock action. This is quite good for lower initiative ships if you think that you might not have target locks. You can let the enemy get in a bit closer when they move, and then you can acquire your target lock. So it's a very sort of good card for hedging your bets, and I do quite like this one. Auto Blasters, great card. So 2 attack in the front arc, range 1 to 2. Attack if the defender is in your bullseye, roll 1 additional die. During the neutralize results step, if you are not in the defender's firing arc, evade results do not cancel crit results. Tractor Beam. If this attack hits, all hits and crit results inflict tractor tokens instead of damage. Mag Pulse Warheads. Spend 1 charge. If this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 crit damage and gains 1 deplete and 1 jam token, then cancel all other results. XX-23 S-Threads. Spend 1 charge. If this attack hits, each friendly ship at range 1 to 3 of the defender may acquire a lock on the defender, then cancel all dice results. Very good if you're flying in swarms. Hull upgrade. Well, we all know what this one does. You get an additional hull. Precision Ion Engines. Ties with Agility 3 only modification. Before you execute a speed 1 to 3 K-turn maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to execute that maneuver as an S-loop maneuver instead. So adding a little bit more flexibility to your maneuver dial there. And you get 3 copies of that. Shield upgrade. Adding a shield. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Static discharge vanes. Before you would gain 1 ion or jam token, if you are not stressed, you may choose another ship at range 0 to 1 and gain 1 stress token. If you do, the chosen ship gains that ion or jam token instead, then you suffer 1 damage. It's a high risk card there. Could play out in your favour, but it's not one I use very often. Targeting computer, giving you the white target lock action. This is very handy for those interceptors that don't have target lock. You get 2 copies of that. Now, this is the sensitive controls card for your TIE interceptors. Replace your auto thruster ship ability with the following. Sensitive controls. During the system phase, you may perform a red barrel roll or red boost action. Standardize. So standardize, obviously, as we know, if one TIE interceptor in your squadron has this, all TIE interceptors must have this. Now, this is quite good, allowing you to reposition prior to moving. So if you set yourself up and you've got an obstacle in front of you, or you know that you want to come out a bit wider, this is going to be quite a handy upgrade to have on there. And we get 4 copies of this. And finally, we have the TIE Defender Elite configuration. Again, also standardized. Decrease the difficulty of your hard turn maneuvers. Increase the difficulty of your K-turn maneuvers. Replace your full throttle ship ability with the following. Advanced fire control. After you perform a cannon or missile attack, if you have a lock on the defender, you may perform a bonus primary attack against the defender. So allowing you to get a double tap there for the slight replacement in maneuverability. So your turns do get better, but your K-turns get harder. And you obviously lose that free evade token essentially. But again, that could be really dangerous, really quite scary if it's lined up well. Getting yourself potentially in a bullseye with heavy laser cannon and then following up with a normal shot after you strip tokens, that could be quite scary. And you get 2 copies of that in the pack. So that's the upgrade cards, guys. Let's have a quick look at the cardboard. So here's the cardboard elements, pretty much as you'd expect. We have our 3 dials there, the 2 TIE Interceptors and the TIE Defender. We have all of our pilot cards there, so a lot of cards on there. You've got all of your TIE Interceptors and TIE Defenders, with the reverse cards on there. Vader, interestingly, being double-sided Vader, so he's that important that he warrants his own 2-sided card that does not have anyone else on the back. So it just goes to show that FFG think he is a very important pilot. And obviously you're going to get your force tokens, shields, charges, and various other tokens, as well as your ID markers for those of you that have the dial covers. So that is the Skystrike pack, guys. Let me know down in the comments how excited you are to finally get to see these guys on the table. We in the UK are in quite a nice position that the lockdowns are easing, so that our local gaming stores will be able to allow us to actually get in and play. So I don't know about you, but I'm very excited about that. In the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.